What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down and giving my predictions on Jones versus Miocic. UFC, what, 310? 309. That's right. This incredibly mythical, legendary, awesome card, stacked top to bottom. I mean, dude, Mickey Gall, Ramiz Brahimaj, dude, we got it good. We're eating good. We're eating good tonight. But let's just get started. Veronica Hardy versus Edouard Mora. I'm gonna go with Veronica Hardy. I think she's looked really good in her past couple fights, and Edouard Mora, a lot of her success that she's found in her career has really come from just size bullying the living fuck out of all of her opponents. I mean, she's missed weight. She's had two fights in the UFC, and she missed weight both times. And if you look at her on the scales, she's like literally killing herself to make the weight. Like it's not even it's like Jesus Christ, why are you trying to make this weight? Like it's unhealthy the weight she was trying to make. But a lot of it came from, size and just being just so much bigger and I don't think she's gonna have that here. I mean, she couldn't even use it against Denise Gomez very well. And I think Veronica Hardy technically is a lot better than her. So I don't know. I just like Veronica Hardy. I think she's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna go with Veronica Hardy to get this done. Uh, I just can't trust someone who literally cannot make weight in a division where they're going to try and weight bully and then go up a division where they cannot weight bully. No, I can't trust that. I can't trust that. God, I have fucking calluses on my hand, dude. God, calluses all fucking over my hand. It's just trying to get. I don't want calluses, man. Next up, Oban Elliott versus Basil Hafez. I'm going with Oban Elliott. Uh, Oban Elliott, his takedown defense looked phenomenal in his last fight, and I think that's like the factor that's really deciding it for me. I think looking at both of their last fights, Oban Elliott looked on point with his takedown defense in his last fight, and then Basil Hafez looked shit in his last fight. I mean, the same guy that took Jack Della Maddalena to a split decision couldn't finish Mickey Gall. Like, come on, man. We we gotta be doing better here. Then we got to be doing better than that. I mean, Oban Elliott was like Preston Parsons would be like fully, completely in on a takedown on Oban Elliott, and he would just shuck it off and he'd stuff it. Basil Hafez just hasn't done literally anything impressive yet. Well, his grappling was really impressive, and like how like strong he was against JDM was really impressive, but his striking has looked pretty mediocre, and I think his gas tank's obviously probably not the best. I think Oban Elliott's going to be able to stuff the takedowns. I think he's going to be able to beat him up on the feet, and I think the pressure, pace, and I think the volume of Oban Elliott. I think that's what he's going to be able to use to just to beat Basil Hafez because Hafez is just not like when he came in. I was thinking, okay, this guy fights anyone else, he's fucking slumping them, and he's beating the shit out of them. And then he fought Mickey Gall, and I was like, oh, Mickey Gall, he's gonna knock him out in the first round. And then he went to a fucking war with Mickey Gall, and I'm like, dude, how the fuck are you going to war with Mickey Gall? Speaking of which, but yeah, I'm going with Oban Elliott. Speaking of which, though, Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj. I think. I don't know who else is on this card. Who else is on this card? It's gonna sound like I'm just copying Guru's picks, but because I mean I was watching his video, but I'm gonna go with Mickey Gall. Ramiz Brahimaj. Both are mid. It's basically just I'm coin flipping on who's not gonna be the worst one. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Next up, Jonata Denise versus Marcin Tabora. I'm gonna go with Jonata Denise. I really want to pick Marcin Tabora because it's like, okay, well, Jonata Denise, we've seen him getting taken down, but if I'm being honest, I think Carl Williams and Austin Lane are like, if I had to choose someone, I think they're better than Marcin Tabora. Honestly, I think if you put Austin Lane and Carl Williams against Marcin Tabora now, I would probably pick. I'd probably pick both. I'd probably pick both to beat Marcin Tabora. I don't think Tabora's all that. And we've seen Jonata Denise be able to survive on the ground against like Austin Lane. We've seen him stuff the takedowns of Carl Williams, and Carl Williams actually has really good entries and really quick entries on his takedowns. So it's like, man, I just trust Jonata Denise. The guy has real power in his hands. I mean, he finished Austin Lane bad. He he almost what? He almost knocked out Carl Williams, but Carl Williams is really good at just shooting only when he gets hurt. Marcin Deport doesn't really have a threat on the feet. I don't think he's gonna be able to get Denise down because I mean, Denise is literally bigger and heavy. I think he's gonna be bigger and stronger, and he's gonna be able to just stuff the takedowns. I mean, his takedown defense has looked like it's been improving, so I'm gonna go with Jonata Denise. I just like what I've seen from him more. Here's what it is. It is what it is, brother. It is what it is. David Onama versus TBA. Low key, I don't give a shit who they put in front of him. I'm picking David Onama. If they find him like a 4-day replacement, I'm picking David Onama. Just so you guys know. Except Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. I'm gonna go with Jim Miller. I think Jim Miller's had enough time to, really rest up and let the body heal. Fucking get his shit, just let himself recover because he took a fucking real whooping against Bobby Green, and I think it's good that he took a good bit off. I think this is probably gonna be his last fight. I think he wants to make it a good one, and I just think he's genuinely better than Damon Jackson, who's moving up a weight class to fight Jim Miller. I don't know why and the thing is, Jim Miller's the underdog, and I kind of like that. That kind of makes me more tempted to pick him. Same thing with Chris Weidman and Jonathan Martinez. So I'm gonna go with Jim Miller. I think he's better in the grappling. I think he has better striking than Damon Jackson. Uh, Honestly, I can really see Jim Miller just knocking Damon Jackson out cold with like a perfect 1-2. Just like a straight two, like right down the center, just like putting Damon Jackson out cold. I can really see that happening, but we do not know. Fuck, there we go. But no, I'm gonna go with Jim Miller, just by being better, more experienced, facing much better levels of competition. Normal stuff. Next up, Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. I'm going with Chris Weidman. You know, for being 40 and being Chris Weidman in 2024, he's not that bad. Honestly, he's not that bad. Honestly, he's still got really good. He's still got pretty good kicks. I think his striking still looks pretty decent. Even though he eye poked Bruno Silva like 6 different times, he was still winning that fight pretty soundly. I think if he didn't eye poke him in any of the rounds, he would have been up 2-1 going into the third, or 2-0 going into the third, regardless. And Eric Anders, just has. I mean, he got dropped by Jamie Pickett and just hasn't looked really very impressive at all. And man, oh my God, Chris Weidman, I just, you know, man, it's just I don't trust like Eric Anders to just be good. I trust Chris Weidman to be good. And honestly, Chris Weidman just he's looked good. I mean, hey man, he looked really good in the last fight. Eric Anders didn't. Chris Weidman may be getting up in age, but he's still, I think, better than the bottom of. Eric Anders is kind of a bottom of the barrel UFC middleweight. Chris Weidman is, I think, better than the bottom of the barrel middleweights. I think Chris Weidman would whoop up on a Jamie Pickett and a Eric Anders. So I'm going with Chris Weidman. Next up, Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. I'm going with Jonathan Martinez. Now, here's the thing. He got beat up by Jose Aldo, but he had some moments. He had some moments where he looked pretty decent against Aldo. I think Martinez has really improved upon his striking as a whole. And I think the thing about him versus McGee is McGee's last opponent was Gaston Bolaños, who I think is a very similar style to Martinez, but there's a big difference, and it's that Jonathan Martinez is a trillion billion times faster than Gaston Bolaños. Gaston Bolaños is just super fucking slow. And sure, McGee whooped up at him, but the difference is I don't think he's faced anyone with the experience and skill of Jonathan Martinez. On top of the fact, Jonathan Martinez has probably the nastiest leg kicks right in the currently in the UFC. He probably has the best leg kicks. I mean, he has two leg kick TKO, so he's tied for first place. I could honestly see him getting a leg kick TKO here. And Marcus McGee, he's 34. Martinez is younger. I think he has more to give. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Jonathan Martinez gets a finisher. I know Marcus McGee is like really good. He has good striking. He's fast. He's got heavy hands. But Jonathan Martinez, I think, is just like, are you gonna pick Gaston Bolaños to beat Jonathan Martinez? Are you gonna pick JP Buys to beat or Journey Newson to beat Jonathan Martinez? No. No, you are not. I'm picking Jonathan Martinez. I'll say second round leg kick TKO. Same as the Yanez fight. Next up, Mauricio Hufi versus James Yontop. I'm gonna go with Mauricio Hufi. James Yontop is kind of shit. I mean, he's like skinny fat. He fucking watching him fight against Borshev, that kind of made me realize, like, when he started throwing, I saw him like throw shot. There was like one time he throw like a big looping shot to the body that was just like super slow, and I was like, what the fuck? And then he threw an overhand to the top that was super slow, and Borshev was just able to like block both with such ease, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck? This guy was a minus like 400 against Chris Padilla, who we now know Chris Padilla is actually pretty fucking solid. This guy's a minus 400 favorite against Chris Padilla. What the fuck? And Mauricio Hufi is really fucking good. I mean, this guy, he's first off, every fight he's had has ended in knockout, and yeah, he's gotten knocked out once. But I went back and I watched that fight. He was winning that fight. I mean, he dropped the guy in the first round pretty bad, but what ended up happening is in the second round they got into an exchange, and he tried to like shoulder roll something, and as he was turning back, he got caught like right on the chin, and it just put him out. And that's just unfortunate way to lose your O. But dude, I mean, dude, this guy's got the sunken featherweight McGregor look, but he's just bigger than McGregor. So it's like him at lightweight is like McGregor at featherweight. Like he's got the sunken and drained McGregor look. Like this guy's hungry, like physically, like literally hungry, and metaphorically hungry. I mean, dude, his strike, he's slick. He's got nasty counters. He's got real pop in a shot. And we know Borshev got Borshev has pop in his shot too, but James on top. He was getting hit with big shots by Borshev. I think if Rufi lands those shots, Yontop is going out. So I'm picking Mauricio Hufi to knock out James Yontop in the first round. Next up, Kareem. Dude, this is on the main card. That kind of fucking pisses me off. Kareem Silva versus Vivian Arujau. I'm picking Kareem Silva. I don't want to fucking go into this fight because it's on the main card, and that makes me angry. Except Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. Going with Bo Nickel. Paul Craig, I think he can win this fight. I think he can, do a Paul Craig classic and throw up a random submission and, pull off the upset. I'm not gonna bet on him to do that though. And you know what I guarantee? I guarantee after Bo Nickel wins this fight, they're gonna put him at like number 15 above Michelle Pereira. I mean, Michelle Pereira shouldn't even be ranked after that performance. That fucking made me so goddamn mad. But they're gonna give him like a ranking after beating Paul Craig. This is gonna piss me off. But Bo Nickel, yeah, I think he's just gonna be able to take Paul Craig down and just beat him up on top, probably. He's gonna be able to beat him up on the feet. I wouldn't be surprised if Bo Nickel knocks him out on the feet. But you can't ever fucking know with Paul Craig. I'm gonna go with Bo Nickel. I think we're all going with Bo Nickel. I think we all know why. But it's like really worrying me because you just know Paul Craig can just somehow win out of nowhere. You're gonna like look away for 3 seconds, like, yep, Bo Nickel got it, and it's gonna be, oh shit, Paul Craig locked in the triangle. But next up, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. I'm going with Charles Oliveira. You know what I think is gonna happen? I think Michael Chandler is gonna shoot in for a takedown immediately, and he's gonna get guillotined in 45 seconds. That is not. I'm not even joking. That's my prediction. I think he's gonna like. I think he's gonna like do something, but he's gonna like back him up against the fence. But he's gonna shoot in, and he's gonna get guillotined in like 45 seconds. Maybe. I definitely think he's getting guillotined in under a minute and 30 seconds. That's my prediction. Getting guillotined in under a minute and 30 seconds. But even then, Oliveira would probably be able to rock him on the feet. I mean, Chandler we know past round one, it'll be all Oliveira. But, don't know why they made this fight. It's an awesome fight, but I don't know why they made it. But yeah, going with Charles Oliveira. Okay, I fucking hate this. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. I'm going with John Jones. Stipe Miocic is fucking 42. Hasn't fought in 4 years. He got knocked out in his last fight. John Jones, he's on roids. Okay, I don't want to break this down. Old man Stipe is an old man. Obviously he could win. Crafty vet, old man Stipe could, pull off the upset somehow, some way. I'm not gonna gamble on that. I'm not gonna gamble on that. Okay, I'm not gonna pick old man Stippy based on he could do it. Okay, I'm gonna go with John Jones because we all know that he wants this fight because he knows Stipe's fucking old and decrepit, and he's just gonna beat up on him. Now, would I like for Stipe to win? Yeah. I'd rather Stipe win. You wanna know why? Because I know if Stipe won, well, I feel at least if Stipe won, he'd actually be willing to fight Aspinall. I mean, dude, look how long it's been since Stipe has fought. The only recent photo they have of him is the fucking Reebok shorts from when he was champ. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. I'm going with John Jones. I don't even care to watch this fight. I'm gonna watch it because, it's John Jones, Stipe Miocic. The name value of it is like, oh wow, that's exciting. The context behind it, oh wow, that's fucking lame. But I'm going with John Jones. This shit is stupid as fuck, and I hate it all. But whatever. Peace.